Hey everyone, welcome back to another Go Battle League video. Today I am going to be shoutcasting my first battles in the Great League Remix after about a week to a week and a half. I'm finally playing Remix because I've just been enjoying the Great League so much, but my team consists of Registeel and then double normal flying types. We have Noctowl and Pidgeot in the back, so an ABB style team that is pretty weak to electric, but as long as you don't see Pokemon like Magcargo or a Stunfisk, you are going to be really good on the meta because basically most everything else you have a lot of play against. So we have Fire Punch Hypno in the lead. Gonna have to... I shielded the first one because my opponent built up to a Focus Blast. Gonna let the second Fire Punch go, that's totally fine. And then I'm gonna undercharge the Flash Cannon just a little bit to see if it doesn't KO. I'm able to get, would be able to get a couple extra lock-ons, but my opponent switches into Politoed. And this is pretty good for me. I'm resisting the Mud Shots, and I'm gonna be able to farm up to a little bit over a Sky Attack and throw it the CMP tie. Therefore, my opponent doesn't get any moves through. These Weather Balls are doing about 30%, but I'm able to live them pretty easily. Maybe less than 30%. But I'm going to build up a lot of energy. Can tank another Weather Ball, and then I think I've been counting. I'm going to throw right before my opponent gets to his next move. I'm actually going to throw a Shadow Ball because I think that I'm only going to be able to get to one more move. My opponent does invest another shield, so he tries to catch on Hypno, which I think is a pretty big mistake, and he comes into Clefable. So my opponent is down 2 shields now, and he knows that I have a Registeel in the back, so going to come into that. Farm up a little bit extra. I probably should have let him throw enough charms to get me to 1 HP. Because this Politoed is now going to be able to farm me down, but as long as he doesn't have Blizzard, we are looking very good. I can come in with Pidgeot. I even have a potential sack swap in the back, so this game should be over. And look how much these gusts are doing. They're doing a lot of damage, to say the least. Probably doing like 7 or 8%, maybe. And then I can just shield up this next Weather Ball and probably farm all the way down. Because he's in the red. I'd say that's about 7 to 8% health that Gust is doing. So we're going to be able to take a very nice game, 1 win. And let's move on to the next one with a Diggersby lead. This is where the ABB team comes in handy. Come into Noctowl, lure out an answer to a flying normal type. They have Registeel. I can hit back with Shadow Ball a lot better than Pidgeot would be able to. So this matchup is not the worst matchup in the world for me. Pidgeot might be able to have a lot of play in the back because Diggersby can't really hit Pidgeot at all. You really only have the Fire Punch damage, and if they have something like Trevenant or a Grass or a Ghost or something like that in the back, I'm going to be able to sweep up very nicely. So I'm going to shield up the Flash Cannon to get even on shields. I do think that I would be able to get to the next Shadow Ball, and I am. So at this point, my opponent can shield and get switch advantage, and that's what he's going to do. So I'm going to just let him have switch advantage. I think that he'd be maybe able to get to another Flash Cannon if I tried to get to a Shadow Ball. So I'm just going to give him alignment because my opponent doesn't have shields anymore, so a Focus Blast is going to devastate Diggersby. And we're looking pretty okay. I'm going to let the Focus Blast go because I can farm up to 100, throw this Flash Cannon, and even if he comes back in Diggersby, I can still get to a Focus Blast. These Mud Shots aren't going to KO me, but my opponent can't throw a Fire Punch, so pretty unfortunate. I'm going to have to shield and just pray that Pidgeot can beat whatever they have in the back. And look at that, it's a Trevenant, so there's a reason my opponent was scared of Noctowl in the back, and that's why. It's because he had Trevenant. Real quick, I just wanted to say that this team, I played 6 sets with it, and I went 4-1 in every set. So I went 24-6 and only achieved 4-1 sets every single time I played. So my philosophy is, as long as you don't see an electric type or, you know, something like Magcargo with a lot of coverage, then you're going to be pretty good. So I saw a couple Magcargos. I was able to beat a few, and then I think Unova Stunfisk is the biggest core breaker to this team, and I didn't see it a crazy amount, so that's why I would say this team is relatively safe, unless you, of course, see a lot of Ufisk yourself. Take a little water break, but yeah, this team did so much better than I ever thought it would, and I might even put it on my best teams of all time list. I don't know if I'm ever going to make a video where I showcase that. I've always been kind of thinking about it, and every time I'm having success with a team, I'm always like, this is probably one of the better teams I've ever built. So who knows, maybe in a couple months or something, whenever I create some more good teams, I will make a top 5 or maybe even a top 10 on my best teams that I ever built. And I'll probably take into account a couple different factors, but I would definitely have to plan that video out. I wouldn't just scrap it together. So let me know if you want to ever see a video like that in the future, and I will definitely gear towards, you know, the possibility of uploading it. Anyways, my opponent has Dragonair in the back on this team. I think he had Quillfish on the safe swap, and I think he had Dragonair in the lead. He's going to shield up the first Focus Blast. I think Focus Blast would probably KO. My opponent had Shiftry, that's right. So if this is a foul play, I might be in trouble. It is. Ooh, and I barely live. This is okay, because I can come into Noctowl. I'll take 2 foul plays with ease, farm all the way down, and then hopefully whenever I farm down, I have 2 Sky Attacks worth of energy. I think one more Wing Attack will KO, but I'm not sure if I have 2 moves. I think I might be. I think with Wing Attack, I think it's 7 to the first Sky Attack and then 6 to the second. And it is. So I'm barely at enough energy for the second Sky Attack. But that is going to be taking out the Dragonair. We have a little bit of lag, because I think my opponent might have KO'd, knowing that the game was over. Or my opponent might have DC'd. But we're going to take another win. So I think I have 3 sets in this video, and they're all 4-1s. So okay, well, this is the last video, or this is the last game of the first set. Lickitung lead, very bad against Registeel, and then my opponent had Trevenant on the safe swap, so he quit. And that's a 4-1, so very nice. I think I was at like rank 18 or 19 here. Also, in this video, we'll be seeing my starting elo, which is pretty cool. Leave a comment below if you haven't skipped to the end of the video. What do you think my starting elo is? I know a couple different people, like I know the Tacticals was like in the 2300s, pretty high, I think. Purple Kyogres was in the 2100s. I don't know about a lot of other people, honestly, but I was just seeing those on the community tabs. I think Jonkiss was also like 2100, 2200, so. But I've been taking it a little bit slower because I've been busy. I've finals week coming up next week, so definitely have to gear towards that. And also last weekend I was busy because I was visiting my girlfriend in at her school, so wasn't able to pump out any content or even play all my sets. So that's why I've been kind of hitting it hard this week, trying to get some content out for you guys, and then next week it might dip just a little bit, but then after that I'll be on break, so the content should be flowing once again. But anyways, I'll get back to the commentary here. Honestly, don't remember what match this was. I have no idea what's going on, but Pidgeot with shields down is not going to appreciate Flash Cannon. My opponent has Greninja, so I think this point, I'm gonna get ahead on energy on Pidgeot, and gonna have to shield a move probably. Oh, I guess I don't have one, but okay, my opponent's gonna get the second surf through, but if my opponent has something that is not resisting flying type moves in the back. Oh, that was it. Okay, yeah, you guys can tell how like out of it I am. Yeah, Greninja was the last Pokemon. Okay, Frost Slice in the lead. This is an incredible lead. Flash Cannon's gonna be doing super effective. All my opponent has that's neutral is Shadow Ball, so gonna let the first Shadow Ball go. Probably farm up closer to 100 energy, but actually gonna throw a little bit before. And my opponent lets the Flash Cannon go, and he has Toxicroak. Yeah, this game's over. I don't think my opponent knows I have a second flying type in the back, but once he does, he's definitely going to concede. But I'm just going to play this matchup out. Your shields are even. We both let the first moves go, so at this point, I can shield, or let a move go from Drapion. I think I knew that I would live it. Gonna get this Sky Attack off, and I don't know if my opponent's gonna let it go. He is gonna let it go, hoping that Toxicroak can sweep the back line, but I think that I might have ruined his day, because I have another flying type, and my opponent leaves right away. Marowak lead very bad. Marowak's resisting everything from me, and I want it aligned on my flying types, or I guess rather my normal types, but my opponent has Greedent, which is really good. I can now try and flip switch. I know a lot of people like to let the Feather Dance baits go. I think a lot of people really don't shield potential Brave Birds, so I'm going to go for the Brave Bird here, and is this going to land? No. My opponent shields very smartly. At this point, I am going to try and fight for switch, which could be a mistake. But my opponent's going to throw 3 Bullet Seeds, so I am able to get to the next Brave Bird. And my opponent controls his destiny now. He's going to take shield advantage, switch advantage, and give me shield advantage. So I'm going to pull an immediate switch. Don't want to let my opponent have any free farm. And I'm just going to tank the bad matchup onto Registeel. Gonna throw a Flash Cannon. This is still going to do chunk damage, probably about 35%, maybe 30%. And then these lock-ons are not that bad, honestly. So we're going to throw another Flash Cannon, get him into the red. And then this is nice farm range for Noctowl. I'm ahead of shield. I can farm this thing down, don't have to worry about shielding any moves, because everything that Marowak has is double resisted as long as he's running the standard moveset. And I'm going to catch the next move on Pidgeot. Didn't really need to. Shadow Bone's not going to be doing much, but at this point, my opponent's had enough. I honestly don't know what he has in the back. Probably isn't a ghost type. Maybe it's a grass type. Maybe it's a psychic type, but my opponent's had enough, and we're going to take another win. So another rank 18 matchup. Registeel into Gramble. This is beautiful. My opponent switches into Registeel. So this is relatively tricky. Any steel types in the meta, which is really Registeel, Melmetal, Steelix sometimes, maybe a couple more, but they are kind of a problem. Luckily, in this match, I'm able to bait. Obviously, I think my opponent, knowing that me staying in here and throwing, he's going to think that I'm going to Focus Blast and dip, and that's why I baited. And baiting really only matters in the Registeel matchup, so that's why I do it. And then my opponent can come back in with Gramble here. I'm going to throw it. Good timing, so my opponent doesn't get a free fast move through. And at this point, I can try and get to another Sky Attack, but unfortunately, these charms are going to take me out. And I think at this point, my original thought was that I'm trying to get ahead on energy on Registeel, but I'm going to have to expend a shield to do that. I think that I probably should have come into Pidgeot and just threw a Gust, taking out the Gramble that way. And that definitely would have been the right option because my opponent has Machamp in the back. Machamp wins the 0 shield, and then he would be able to sweep house. So, gonna take an L. Getting into the next matchup, Ariados lead, very good. Whiscash switch, pretty good. As long as I can call the Blizzard here, we are gonna be just fine. I shield up the first move, and it's a Mud Bomb. So this matchup is all of a sudden looking a little bit less favorable, but I can still live a Blizzard. So I know it's coming. I'm down a shield. I have to let it go though. I can't go down 2 shields to 0. Well, I guess I could. Like, I wall Ariados, and depending on what they have in the back, it could be okay. But my opponent's going to shield a Sky Attack and then doesn't even get to the Mud Bomb anyway. So, big misplay from my opponent. And then at this point, I'm going to switch into Pidgeot. I think that they do have enough for another Blizzard, so I'm going to shield. It is another Blizzard, which is good for me. Gonna wall Ariados, and my opponent comes back into Ariados and then pulls an immediate switch into Mew. So this is what you like to see. I'm gonna throw a Brave Bird. It takes out the Mew entirely, and Ariados is not gonna want to come out to play. They're just gonna concede that match, and we're gonna take a very nice win. So another 4-1 set right there. And this is going to be getting into the last set. I ended up playing last night. Machamp lead, very bad. This set, I remember this set. This set was so much fun. Yeah, I mean, obviously you guys know I went 4-1 in every set, so there's going to be one more game in this video that I lose. But this set, nonetheless, oh, it was so fun. So we have a Machamp lead. Obviously, that's a really bad lead. Or is it? I've realized Machamp is only a bad lead when they have a hard counter to a normal flying type. So whether that be a rock type, an electric type, a steel type, something like that, it sucks. But the power of an ABB team, my opponent switched Charizard, which I think is a really bad Pokemon in the Great League, and the remix, but my opponent loses switch, comes in with Ninetales, has to shield a move. I'm at 100 energy. I'm going to throw a Shadow Ball, and they're going to let it go. And I think at this point, I honestly could have came in with Pidgeot, maybe? But my thought process is, alright, I'm going to come into Registeel. And, you know, Registeel has nowhere to go, so I'm going to put it somewhere, because it's got to go somewhere. Pidgeot is going to be able to wall off Machamp, and my opponent throws on horrible timing, but the game denies me of a Gust, and my opponent gets another move. So this game's absolutely horrible. All that cross-drop damage, I should have never taken. I should not have taken that cross-drop damage. I'm going to throw a Feather Dance on Ninetales because they're pretty low in health, so they obviously have to shield. And it's a CMP tie, luckily. But I should not be in the red. I should be a lot higher in health. And a double debuffed Fire Spin does that much damage to me and takes me out. But luckily, I'm able to get to a Flash Cannon and take out the Ninetales. So I was super duper frustrated in this game because I thought I lost. But then, luckily, I was able to get to a move on Reggie. But that Machamp should have not fast move denied me because he threw it bad timing and there was no lag. Like, I'd say 9 times out of 10, a Gust should go through there. But the game hoed me, so it is what it is. But we have another Machamp lead. This sucks. This set sucks. Just kidding. It genuinely was one of the most fun sets I've ever played. We have Golbat on the safe switch, though, so I can win switch advantage here. My opponent's going to throw a Poison Fang. I am going to have to shield if I want to win the 1. And luckily, I'm able to farm all the way down. So, does my opponent want to come back into Machamp? No, he comes into Hypno. And this is not bad. My opponent's going to let the Shadow Ball go. Unfortunately, a Confusion does KO, which is okay. But now I have alignment. And now that I have alignment, I can let all these moves on Hypno go, and then whenever my opponent comes back into Machamp, I can come into Pidgeot. Actually, after my opponent throws the Shadow Ball, I come into Pidgeot just to get ahead on energy. My opponent comes back into Machamp, and at this point, I can shield any move. My opponent tries to go for the Rock Slide, but you're going to lose with 2 shields, buddy, and that is a good game. So we're 2-0 in this set. Both games, we ran into a Machamp lead. So next game, we have Malamar, which is pretty favorable. Even though it has Superpower, it's a debuff move, and Foul Play doesn't do that much damage. Malamar's it's got a pretty low attack stat, and I don't even want to say it's tanky. Like, honestly, it just has a really bad stat product. It benefits from a good moveset, but if it had a better moveset, it would be a more meta pick, but it's got really bad stat product, so only thing going forward is a moveset. I think I said if it had a better stat product, it'd be more meta, but the only thing it has going for it is this moveset. I actually catch the Superpower onto my Noctowl, and my opponent has Greedent, so another team comp where they might not have an answer for a normal flying type in the bag. Now let's see, I'm going to throw a move onto Greedent. This is a CMP tie. But how is it a CMP tie if my opponent was able to sneak an entire Bullet Seed through, and then after he threw, I wasn't able to get to a Wing Attack? And how is he able to throw an entire extra Bullet Seed and get to another move, and I'm only able to get to 1 Wing Attack? He's just always a turn. He's like permanently a turn ahead. It's like the game's giving him a turn ahead boost. And like I can't do anything about it. Now my opponent has the Ufisk in the back. This is awful. I don't think I win this game. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. You never know. Anyways, gonna throw a Brave Bird here, and it's gonna do about half, probably pretty close to 50% HP. And I'm gonna shield up another Discharge. At this point, I am down a shield. I'm just gonna go for the Feather Dance. There's really no point of me building up extra, because then I would have to take a move. And my opponent shields, which is very nice. I actually tried to catch, Discharge, and I don't, which is unfortunate, but I'm going to get hit with the Foul Play, which that does a lot of damage. Maybe, okay, Malamar takes me down. This honestly might be better for me. Actually, I think it's worse, but it could be okay, because I can farm down with Registeel, and now it's going to be a race to the charge move. Am I going to get to the Slash Cannon before my opponent gets to another Mud Bomb? First Mud Bomb coming through. Are they at 2? Or do they have to throw a couple more? They're at the next move. So that game pissed me off, because I was getting hoed. That Greedent got like 5 free... I'm not even exaggerating. It got like 5 free Bullet Seeds through on me, and I couldn't do anything about it. That is what it is. Can't change the past. I'm blessed with a good lead with Greedent. And my opponent has Mad Cargo, so I'm going to throw a Flash Cannon at the 4th Incinerate. Try and get a Shield Bait. I do bait. My opponent's now at 100 energy. My opponent has Stone Edge and Overheat. I'm actually going to let... I thought that at the time that they had Flame Charge, and so I was like, okay, well, I can at least tank a Flame Charge and then get shield advantage, but rather I'm just going to get both shields, and I think my opponent's back at 100 energy, so this is not great. But my opponent overfarms, and I don't know why, because he was definitely at the Stone Edge when I was 1 Wing Attack away from the move, but somehow that ends up being a CMP. I throw 4 Wing Attacks, and it's 5 to get to 2 Incinerates, so Desync CMP tie is just the name of the video today. I'm sure the game's in such a broken state, it's almost unplayable. All the battles I was playing this morning were some of the most frustrating battles I've ever played, so I actually had to quit. Usually if I'm having a little bit of bad luck, or if I'm just playing bad or losing or getting upset, I try and play through it, which honestly I don't recommend doing. But I was so upset with my battles today that I actually had to quit. So maybe I'll do some in the afternoon or this evening. because last night or yesterday evening was when I got most of my 4-1 sets, so maybe playing in the evening is better, but I'm not like superstitious. I don't think the time of day really matters when you play, but who knows. Okay, so this is the last battle. At this point on the day, I had been, I think I went 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. So this battle I had to win to maintain the 4-1 streak. My opponent switches into Ninetales, so I'm going to come in Pidgeot. I think Pidgeot's better switch with shields up. I think Noctowl is a better safe switch because you have Shadow Ball coverage. But my opponent went for Overheat right away, and luckily I was able to shield that. I'm going to throw Feather Dance, and we get a shield. This game's looking pretty nice. We're able to gust that Dragonite all the way down to half HP, and my opponent has Granbull in the back. And I switch. For whatever reason, I switch into Noctowl. I mean, obviously Noctowl's having a neutral matchup either way, and Registeel's having a favored matchup, but I'm not even able to get to the next move, and I also overfarm. So I have to tank a move here. What I will do is build up to about 100 energy, and at this point, is Registeel bulky enough to survive a potential Draco Meteor or Hurricane? My opponent's throwing the move. I'm assuming that they have it. It is a Hurricane, and we live it. Does about 50%, and I was in the green before he threw it. So we're going to be able to get to the next Flash Cannon here, and we take him out. So 4-1, through and through. We went 20-4 on the day, 24-6, or 20-5 on the day, 24-6, I think, on with a set the day before. And my starting elo, 22-24. I don't know if you guys saw that. My starting elo is 22-24, so pretty solid. It's going to put me healthily into the ace rank, and maybe I can make a quick veteran push early on in the season. But anyways, that is going to be it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.